Well, it's time to review another episode of Superman and Lois. And unfortunately, this one will be the last episode until we, for a while, until, what was it? I think May 18th it comes back. Oh, but don't worry, Supergirl will show you. Don't expect me to have any reviews of that. I doubt that I'll watch it. I don't know. I'd have to be really bored. But anyway, at first I was thinking this might be the weakest of the shows, but it was still better than anything else CW produces. The main thing was that I said, oh, it's looking like we're not going to get any Superman action. But I was wrong. We did. So you get more of high school soap opera stuff, which, yeah, I'm not all that fan of. But I make an exception in this show because so far so good. They weave that as it goes. And this episode, Jonathan is the kid having trouble because he's pretty much lost everything that he had going for him. And he seriously wants to move back to Metropolis and stay with a friend's family and all that. And he takes to drinking and all this sort of stuff. And so once again, another full episode on the CW that has no political sermons. But it does have its lessons, and underage drinking is bad and all this sort of stuff. There's hints and stuff that there's more serious problems with Lana Lang's family and their daughter, who's the crush for Jordan. They almost have a date, but it gets interrupted by his brother's drunken antics and all that sort of thing. And obviously, drinking is something that bothers her a bit, and I think that has a lot to do with her father. Now, her father is one of these characters who could be a more character of depth, and so far it appears to be. I'm just hoping they don't suddenly turn him into a villain, although he might be another victim of whatever Morgan Edge is up to. But still, not just turn him into the bad guy and that sort of thing. This could go very bad very quickly. With CW templates and whatnot, instead of being more credible as to what you've already established, rather than just all of a sudden you're the bad guy. It's kind of like how WandaVision screwed up with the head of sword and stuff like that. It's okay for him to be established as the a-hole, but suddenly he's a child murderer and everything just on a dime, and all that kind of that's just stupid. And in the way they orchestrated it, a lot of his arguments were right. So you kind of stumble over that when you're trying to preach and whatnot. Well, but here in Superman, we don't see that as of yet. So it's finished out its first run of episodes and has to take a break. Thanks again, COVID. And so we'll be a while before we get back to it. But so far, this has all been very good. And so they weave their stories again, and then you have the mystery, what's Morgan Edge up to, and then the mysterious Captain Luthor shows up again, and we get a lot more of him. And shocker, in his world, he and Lois were in love. And maybe that was more of the problem with his Superman. He never got a Lois and he turns evil or something. I don't know. But he's still determined to kill Superman, so he's stalking him. And it seems like at first he introduces himself to Lois posing as a reporter, and that he's a big fan of her career and all this sort of stuff. And at first I thought he just knows that Lois has some sort of relationship with Superman, and that's what his interest is. But no, it's not. He's drawn to her because she's, the double of his former wife or girlfriend. I'm not sure which. And so there you are. That's the twist for him. And I'm thinking he's not going to be the villain of the series. Right now, he's a threat and a danger. But I'm thinking he'll come around. Morgan Edge I think he'll be the big villain for the show so far anyway. And perhaps there'll be some redemption story for this Luthor, and he'll come to understand that this Superman is not his Superman. Probably he'll end up sacrificing himself to save Superman and for Lois and this sort of thing. But that's how that'll go. I don't think he'll be a full-on villain like Lex Luthor is, or the Lex Luthor of this universe. So just my speculation on that one. But the superpowered people plot continues. The missing son, the prodigal son, shows up, claims he had amnesia and all this sort of stuff, and they quickly wrap up the story thinking they do. And Lois, of course, is suspicious, but they don't really know her, or editor, or whatever, the publisher of the Gazette. It's just her and the two ladies, and that's it. Suppose they could have hired Clark to be another reporter, but anyway, she snoops around and discovers there's some secret lab that they're at, and the son, she sees him making out with this other mysterious woman who's the one who fried the other superpowered guy. To clean up that mess, and she puts him in some sort of machine that's supposed to help him get control of his powers, because it turns out, yes, surprise, surprise, he was a guinea pig for Morgan Edge's experiments, which I guess involves kryptonite, and that's why he's interested in the mines at Smallville. And it looks like this guy's not handling it. It seems this woman is handling it all right, but it's a bit unstable for this man. Similar to the kid from the previous episode, who has been affected some kind of way. It seemed to suggest that it happened with his interaction with Jordan, but I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with this whole experiment going on. So, because he has the shake similar to what the kid had, and Superman storms in on this, and that's where we get the big action. Because there's a long, well, maybe not that long, but a big chase between the two as they go flying around. And he has the full powers of Superman. He has heat vision, he can fly, and he's super strong. So they take off flying around. Luthor, still stalking Superman, his computer tells him, he's on the move. So he chases after him with a rocket launcher of some sort. But I imagine it's more than just a rocket launcher. And he's reduced to he no longer has his Iron Man suit, and he doesn't have the spaceship anymore. So now he's in an RV. So he chases them as they're fighting and flying through barns and through the cornfields and stuff. And then he shoots, thinking he's going to take out Superman, but it ends up hitting the other guy. On the ground, Superman says, "I can help you," and the guy says, "You can't, I'm already dead." And then he explodes. So the idea, of course, Morgan Edge, these guys have found a way to replicate Superman's powers, but there's a problem, and it's unstable because it's not meant for human beings. So I think these are all human beings. They're not crypto. Obviously, the workers and the experiments and whatnot. And I assume this woman is as well. For whatever reason, it seems to work better for her. The other guy who was hired to take out the man's mother, seemed to be doing all right, but it was interesting that it appeared to be all he had was super strength. He didn't have the other powers, and maybe maybe it helped him out to where he didn't end up exploding either. So yeah, that's a good one. It's called The Best of Smallville. No, they didn't sit around watching old episodes of Smallville. This had to do with some festival they were having, and it ended up being a celebration of Martha, because everybody remembers she was a cherished member of the community and all this sort of thing, and so they did a little dedication for her. And also there were flashbacks to Superman's early years, so he was thinking about when he was the same age or close thereabouts to his sons, and had giving him some grounding and understanding of what they're going through, and also some amount of guilt that he yearned to go find himself, and he felt that this was all very selfish looking back on it, and he left Martha alone when he did this. But it had to be done because he's got to be Superman. So all good stuff. And gee, I hope they don't ruin it. It's CW, so it's like, it's almost like some nervousness of watching an episode. Is this the one? Is this the one that's gonna turn me against it? So far, no, it hasn't happened yet. So we'll see where this goes. And unfortunately, we have this big break. But the good news is this is Supergirl's final season. And when Superman comes back, hopefully they've learned a powerful lesson from the reception they've gotten to this show. And it's like, don't mess it up. It's good. Keep it going. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.